another place. Let's see if I can go to the home page, give you a quick crash course of the realms of Ukudor. Click it. So, this is the entire map of Ukudor. Obviously, I haven't done it all pretty yet. We'll get there. All the players came from the Western Isles. So, Jadobi came from around here. He is the half-elf druid. The wood elf ranger paladin Farlin came from the lower part of Donadel. The entire island of Donadel is full of elves. Motul, very, very rugged, very, very mountainous. Giants and Goliaths and such live there. Torque, the Goliath barbarian, lived up here with his tribe. Denahi was on the run here. She is a tiefling sorcerer. Back then, 30 years ago, her tieflings were hunted by clerics of the Temple of Izir because they thought to be devils and such, which you found out at Kublai Khan that that's all bullshit, and Jaren was just using their bodies and their life force to fuel his evil. Barakabu, who is the Asmar monk, was down here in the southern part of Kima. There were 3 episodes before we started the entire show. Those 3 brought everyone over here. This is called the Ocean of Storms. So for different reasons, all the people jumped on boats. Once the pass was open, there was Kraken-type creatures that was just decimating any sort of ship travel. That ancient beast disappeared, which opened up ship travel, so all these people started coming this way. They ran into orc pirates from the northern part of Hylak, ended up here in Saros, which is this shape right here, which we will go to the Saros map. Saros map. So, this is Saros. So, everyone arrived here in Edak. In this city, Jadobi bumped into his NPC elven sister, Renee. She was married to the Duke, Ravis Ursus, who ran this city. Jadobi, the half-elf druid, has 2 family members there now. He has a niece and nephew, Ina and Ian. They are twins, I believe. I can't remember. Ian is kind of a dick, and Ina has got really strong powers. This city was protected from his sister, Renee. She had this giant green dome that she would create, would cover the entire city as a protective shield, so nothing could come in, magic or material, and they could shoot out all day long to fight off any forces. This is called the Emerald Coast. Emeralds have no real value, but there's a lot of magical properties there, so the players, or the people here, would utilize those things to do whatever. They did venture here to Raragord a few times to do some stuff. They ended up going into these mountains, and they accidentally woke up a dragon by the name of Nevres, but we'll get to him later, so put a pin in that. Went back to this city. They met a PC player. His name is Bo Williams. You might know him from Quests and Chaos. He came in to guest star as Ted the Fighter, who is a character from one of his other NPC, or his other homebrew worlds. He is the personal guard of Renee, Jadobi's sister, and gets treated shitty by the Duke, Ravis Ursus. Long story short, he comes and he plays with all the players. Everyone loves him. 2 or 3 episodes in, awesome. He takes a break. He goes back to the show for 3 or 4 episodes. He comes back to help defend the city by the attack of the Trevel. The Trevel are an ancient creature that was created by the goddess Travanas, who is the goddess of death. And why can't I find... There we go. So, real quick, this is Travanas. Similar to the Raven Queen, but it's my own making. And these guys are the Trevel. So the Trevel are 6.5 foot creatures created for one purpose, is to create balance in Ukudor by summoning creatures and such to kind of balance the light and dark and send people to their making because they've been on the world too long. Without death, there is no purpose to life. The creatures are jet black, no fur, no feathers. They have no eyes, but they have beaks similar to a kenku, but they do not. They're not a kenku. And they have Travel cultists, which are other beings that believe in Travanus, and they all wear those really cool like metal beaked masks, including the Travel, hiding their whatchamacallit. Oh, I'd still be one of them. Hiding who is who, right? But they're one of the strongest things that the players have ever fought. Every time that they've fought them, it's usually been one Travel versus like 6 players plus some NPCs, and they struggle. Put a pin in that. So, long story short, they're fighting the Travel, and at one moment, Jadobi hears his sister say, "Jadobi," and he turns around and he sees Ted the Fighter, the player character that I brought in to help the party, with a knife in her chest. Turns out that Ted the Fighter is technically now Ted the Traitor. He is the main antagonist for the first arc of this story. Obviously, players weren't happy that I made a PC an enemy, and they were sitting next to him. So they fought, he leaves. Tens of thousands of orcs storm the city, because guess what? The city's defenses are down because Renee is dead. And she was killed with a dread weapon. A dread weapon is a black, dark weapon that essentially sucks your life force out, and you get all those energies are sucked into Jaren, who you will find out in a little bit. That's essentially what happened. So she died. So after the war, they fought off the orcs. They went back to Raragord. Come to find Nevries, that dragon that they woke up, had decimated the city. They fought him for a little while. They eventually killed him and got to the city, realizing that what they did, it was their fault. They woke the dragon. The dragon came and killed everybody. They met Jadobi's grandmother. And at that point, they went back in time 500 plus years to the Sirgan Gorge, which we just created the city of. So they went back in time to relive the Alliance of Light, the Serendorn Knights, I believe is what they're called. That doesn't sound right. Doesn't matter. So they went back in time. They fought the dragon to kind of see what was up. They came back, found out that it was his grandma, so on and so forth. They went into the caves. They ended up going to the Underdark. They found a city of Athun, where they found Max Theod, who is the rightful heir of all of Seros. He is a Cerator, which is not a Minotaur. He is a Cerator. Cerators are about 15 to 16 feet tall, much more dominant than your basic Minotaur. His name is Max. He's actually the rightful heir to the throne. Put a pin in that. They eventually get out. They come up this way. They get to Galicia. The city looks like it's been consumed by undead. They kill all the undead, and eventually they see someone run by. And it's Ravis Ursus, the now widowed husband of the fallen Renee. And he's chasing Ted, the traitor. The party circles with the help of Ravis to kill Ted. But the fun part of that episode was I actually got up from my seat as the DM. I went around the corner to the back wall where I have all my minis, and out walked Bo, playing as Ted sat in the DM seat. I ran around to sit down with my players to play Ravis Ursus, the cleric bestowed husband, to help defeat Ted. They killed Ted. Ravis dies. They go north. They fought some more orcs, they did some more things, yada yada yada, fast forward, they get to Didian. They finally got to Didian. They found out that Jaren is a piece of shit. They found out that he is a cleric. He's the reason why most of their families are dead. He's the one who called out the orc and drow raid on the Goliath camps in northern Motul, and responsible for killing Torque's family. Also responsible for sending the orcs to the southern shores of Donadel, killing Farland's family. Also responsible for hunting and killing Denahi and Barakabu, the Asmar monks' family as well. Most of those family members were all murdered by the hand of Jaren or someone thereabouts. Brings us to Kublai Khan, where the party worked together to fight the evil forces of Jaren. He turned into one really big motherfucking bad guy, which I don't have the mini on me. He is at the studio, and you can see it in the background behind Barakabu. That ends the first major arc of the Realms of Ukdor, which leads us to, like I said, episode 46. And I can stop there, but the cliffhanger for 46 was, at the end of all of that, they had a friend over here in Edak. His name was Dorius. He was the captain of the King's Guard down here in Edak. And he was supposed to be protecting the niece and nephew of Jidobi, because both the parents are dead now. They finish killing Jaren. They're all standing there and the dust is settled, and they see Dorius ride up. Jidobi runs up and says, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be watching my children, or my niece and nephew." And he's like, Ravis sent me here as fast as he could, causing question. They're like, Ravis has been dead for weeks. And Dorius comes back with, "What are you talking about? I just saw him a few days ago." Lots of questions. They find out that he was kind of mind controlled by somebody, and that's where we'll call it. That's the end of the first arc, the end of the Kublai Khan episode, which gets you to chapter 46. Yeah, 46. Is that what it was? I already forgot. That gets you to chapter 46, which is A New Dawn, which is the new